So that tends to be a tendency that you've had going on for a little bit of a while now. When you're shifting back, you tend to go up a little bit sharp. You know, you don't shift back down far enough.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, that was pretty good intonation. I want to fix one thing, but before we do, let's hear the melodic minor, okay? Not bad. So tell me, what did you think of both scales? What did you think went well and what didn't?
Well, the first scale it went pretty well. I think I went out a little bit up here on the high A string.
Okay.
But the melodic minor, I was I don't know, I didn't like it that much.
Right, okay. And what exactly did you not like? Was it the intonation?
It was intonation.
The intonation, right? Okay, so the two things, and actually, you know what? You've actually assessed it down to the two things that we're going to be talking about. So that's great. You have actually, you know, with your own scaffolding here, your own questioning, you've actually narrowed down the techniques that we're going to be going over. So this is the type of practicing, you know, constantly ask yourself what you liked, what you didn't like, right? Mm-hmm. So to go more specifically into what you just said, talking about the G major scale, let's go from, let me hear the first octave, and then I'm going to stop you once you reach the A string, and then we're going to go over the last part, okay? And I'll explain what we're doing from there. Let's just hear the first part. Good, keep going. Okay, let's stop there, right? Right, so we want to shift from that. Good, can we go back and forth between those two shifts, right? So on all the other strings, you were doing well with shifting and moving into the position. As the last string on the A string is the only string where you're still doing the jump from one position to the other one, right? That's where you're kind of still jerking it, right? So let's try that. So good. And what two notes? So what note is on fourth finger?
C.
And what note are you shifting to?
D.
Right. So what positions you're going from first to
Oh, no, I'm going, sorry, that was E, that I was going to.
Right.
D to E.
The D to E, I'm sorry, yeah. And then you're moving from first position to what? Right. So, can we try that last part there? Let's have the fourth finger on D. And stop right there for 1 second. Okay, what is different between my arm frame, my whole arm and hand frame, and yours?
On my elbows.
There you go, right? And that's preventing you from getting that accuracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's try on the A string, starting on B. Good. Bring it around. Bring the elbow around, the arm around. Good. Let's try it one more time from the top. Sorry, my mistake there, right? Good, cool. So that's basically what you need to work on for the G major scale, right? You need to work on bringing the arm around, and then just for the A string, you need to work we'll stop there for a second. So there are some good things going on there, but some things that we do need to correct. Tell me what you thought. What was going on? What do you think was not so great?
I changed the tempo.
Right. Yeah. So it's largo. I would definitely do this. Most of the time, a lot of students take this over tempo and take it too fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't underestimate it. It is actually quite slow, right? So ba da 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 da. Right, largo. It's very lyrical, very slow. So that's one thing. The other thing I noticed is that your string crossings were a little hectic and a little stopped here and there. So just like we were talking about last time, I'll just demonstrate. I'll do it without any of the left hand. So ba ba da 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 ba da da. See how my elbow and my wrist is moving up and down smoothly, right? I heard a little bit of ba da da da, like that was stopping, and your bow is waiting for your fingers to change before it changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole exercise of separating the right hand and the left hand that we talked about last week, right? Okay, so I mean, other than that, and then the last thing I did want to say, let's take a look at this. So we have that at the end of measure 2, the second half of that. So let's find that C sharp, right? Good, and let's have that fourth finger on A. Good, you're forming a 5 chord, right? Then you have second finger on D, and still fourth finger stays there. Your fourth needs to be a little bit higher. There you go. Good, because that's basically what that is. It's a separated chord or arpeggio in some way, right? It's a chord, so always check with the double stops for the intonation. The tendency is that your C sharp was too low each time. Other than that, when the tempo was consistent, there were a lot of good things going on, right? Your tone production was great, your finger placement was fine, and the intonation was very good. So many things were going well. Don't think that all of it was bad. So just a few things to look. Measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So measure 5, what's going on over here? We have that 0 above, and we have that second position below there, right? I'm sorry, that's not second position. Don't worry about that. Sorry. But we have that 0 or that harmonic above the 3 where D is, right? Mm-hmm. So we have the note C sharp, and then we have A, right? Good. So let's do no slurs. Let's just do separate notes, and we're going to kind of do this little bit of a target practice here. We have C sharp. Good, and then you slide up to where the D is with the harmonic on the third finger. Good. Let's do it. So let me hear your C sharp, A, and then D.
Okay.
Great. So it's okay. Small room, right? And then so let's take a look here. So we have the harmonic D, right? I'll demonstrate first. And then we have C natural, right? So that's going to be second finger. So let's do those 3 notes, right? So harmonic D together, right? Good. All right, we'll stop there for a second. So let me hear, no slurring, but let's keep the rhythms in there. Then we're going to add slurs. Let me hear from the C sharp to the end of the measure, okay? Let's try it again. I did say no slurs, right?
Oh,
and the
sorry.
reason I said let's eliminate the slurs, so I really want you to work on intonation here because it's a little bit higher up on the D string here, and we're not so much comfortable with that position yet. It's a little bit of foreign territory to us, but at least for you there, right? So let's try it again, right? So no slurs, right? But you can keep the rhythm. Ready? Good, right? So that sounded pretty good. So that's going to be over here. So that here is going to be it 1, 2, 4, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.
Right, so we don't have a 3 there. That's not the fingering for that, okay?
Okay.
Okay? Let's take a look at the up 2, right?
Okay.
Right, and that was the whole intertwining of what we were working on when we first started the major scales and the extended 2, right? That is a general cello fingering format, right? So definitely keep that in mind. That was the importance of the hand frame too, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's take it from. So let me ask you, what's going on over here? What's happening in this measure here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Measure 6.
You're shifting back in the first.
Okay.
And then you're shifting again.
So we're all right.
Second.
I didn't really phrase the question properly, so let me just kind of give it away. We're kind of going through a sequence here, right?
Yeah.
You see that we start on A, right? Open A.
Mm-hmm.
We have B, and then we have C sharp, right? So let's do the big groups. You know, the important notes of every group, right? So because that's going to work on the position in each one, and then we'll add the extra ornamentations on there. So let's start at the beginning of the measure. So we have 2 A's. So we're going to take out all the other notes. Understand that, right? Just the first in every group. So let's do that. So the first 2 are A, then it goes to B, then C. D, C sharp, right? So let's try that. Ready? So A, B. Oh, no, so remember, we're back in first position here, right? Sorry, I didn't clarify, right? Open A, right. Right, so open it. Right, so first finger. So A on first finger. Open A. First finger on B. First finger on C sharp. Good. Good, let's take it from the second A on open A. So, so we have... Let's hear that. So open 4, 3, 4, 2, 1. Let's hear that. Good. And now we're going to go up until... Good. And then we have one more. Right, so Right, and we'll stop right there for a second. Right, so we kind of went up. And if you go into each position, you know, first, second, third position there, right? If you know where the position is and you keep that same hand frame with the same finger pattern, your intonation is going to be right. So that's why it's important to practice that separately. Okay? Cool, and let's look at the last part of this measure right here. Okay? So we have some shifting going on over here. So what's going on over here? We have D, E, F, and then G, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have 1, 3, and then we're shifting on the F. So you tell me, what is the finger between the F, what's the finger between F and G? It's going to be fingers 1 and
2.
Right, close together, right? Cool. And then we have, finally, the G on third finger, right? Okay? Let's take this measure nice and slow. I'll play it along with you, okay? Ready? Here we go. Ready? So, for now, no slurring. Let's eliminate that, right?
Okay.
So we're just working on the pitch and a little bit of rhythm. Ready? Go. Good. And you see how we have a replacement over there back on the C for the third finger, right?
Is that third?
Yes, right? So that's... We have that turnaround there, so... Good, and you see how we go back down? So after you play the G there,
Mm-hmm.
you go back down, so that's that second finger. You go back down to third finger on C, right?
Okay.
Cool. Any questions? Any confusion? No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so definitely some slow practicing with the metronome, right? Really checking with the intonation. And then once you just combine the two of the smooth bows and then the correct intonation, which you practice separately, you should be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, nice work.